Is up, everybody? This is Keith Jamison. I go by Gator Guy 231 across the DFS industry. Hope you all had an awesome Champions League week. I know Lee and Ethan had some awesome picks for you guys on the channel, so hope you were able to piggyback off of those and get some great picks of your own and had some success. We only, in the kind of the spirit of Champions League, the Saturday and EPL, we only have a 2-game slate. So, and it's kind of interesting because you have Liverpool as about a minus 180 favorite at home versus Villa, 3 total. And then you have Chelsea away to Crystal Palace, minus 180, 2.25 total. Both teams kind of have just a rough draw. They have to immediately turn back around, play the second legs of the Champions League. You know, Chelsea probably in a little bit better spirits than Liverpool, up 1-0. But then on top of that, they're both in an absolute fight and realistically versus each other, according to bookies, for that fourth and final critical spot in the EPL table to get automatic Champions League spot. Huge money, means a ton, especially in COVID times where gate revenues are down. So, you know, it's a really, really tough balance for both Klopp and Tuchel. Like, what do you do? Like, who are you dropping from the games? Like, these are must-win games on Saturday, and then you turn around, you know, Chelsea on Tuesday, Liverpool on Wednesday, and that's must-win too. So, you know, I think there's going to be, I think Chelsea might rotate a little bit because that's what Chelsea does under Tuchel. They just seem to have a big squad and they rotate a ton. And Liverpool do not have a big squad. They're decimated by injuries. There's not that much to rotate, especially when it's must win. So unfortunately for us, because I think the Liverpool lineup is a lot more predictable than Chelsea's. Liverpool's first. So we'll have the Liverpool lineup, have to play that game out, and then save room for Chelsea. So just a quick reminder that you have to make sure that you're using your utility spots correctly to make it all work. All right, let's jump into the picks. But before doing that, we make sure that I remind you to mash that subscribe button, like, comment, all those things. Mayo Media Network is doing amazing things, and we cannot thank you enough for helping us grow. And a quick reminder to also check out the feed on podcast, DFX The Mix, where you can get all these short form videos in pod form as well. All right, let's jump into the picks. Top of the table. Let me just say this. I feel in a lot of ways this slate is choosing colors. Are you going to choose red? Are you going to be Liverpool? Or are you going to be choosing blue and Chelsea? Because predominantly because of the odds, because of the way both these teams play, very, very possession-based. Liverpool and Chelsea will dominate possession in these games. What side are you going to be on? I think the answer, you know, unfortunately for me is I even as a Liverpool fan, I'm like not enjoying playing them. But I think your forward spots, because the Chelsea forward options aren't that great, are probably going to be Liverpool. I think Trent Alexander-Arnold, even after the howler he had versus Madrid, is probably still the best point per dollar play on the slate. And then you just plug in the Chelsea from there. So let's start at the top, Sadio Mane. He's probably my least favorite of the 3 Liverpool forwards. He's actually been struggling as of late, but realistically, he has the best floor of them at 9,300. You know, he's going to get, you know, plenty of opportunities. Like that's the thing versus Villa. All 3 of these Liverpool forwards are going to get the opportunities. I prefer Mohamed Salah, hence of being on the cover. And let me just jump straight to him. Mo Salah, second in the league in goals, is on PKs for Liverpool. We have not seen any other Liverpool player take a PK. So Salah 6 for 6 on the season. That does matter. You know, it's 2021 just today in Europa League. In 4 games, we saw 3 PKs. So, you know, weighing penalty potential or equity is going to be a big deal. I think Salah gives you, you know, similar type of floor. Again, I think Mane is a little bit higher of a floor. He draws a little more fouls, just a little more crossing, but Salah gives you better goal odds, similar type of floors, and is 400 cheaper. So to me, Salah, lock and load. It'll be interesting to see who starts at center forward. I think there's a really good chance that Liverpool might actually play all 4. You might see Mane, Salah, Jota, and Firmino, both Jota and Firmino playing in the middle. But I do love Diogo Jota. You know, finally didn't score versus Madrid, but before that it was just on a scoring just rampage. He's honestly been Liverpool's best and most consistent player all season. He's at 8,200 here. And again, I think that you're probably going to have to take 2 Liverpool forwards. I think Chelsea, the uncertainty of who they're going to start up top. Timo Werner probably needs a break. It might be Giroud, but I prefer Jota, Salah, Mane, all to Giroud, given the total in the matchup. So yeah, I think, you know, for me right now, Salah, Jota is where I'm probably going to go. If Firmino's in, I got to rethink things because I'm not a huge Roberto Firmino fan for DFS. All right, Hakeem Ziyech for Chelsea. I think he's going to get the nod. He and Mount kind of just seem to be rotating. Mount started midweek champions league. I think that Tuchel's going to want Mason Mount for the second leg. Ziyech is a guy that, went in, has been taking a lot of the set pieces. If Reece James is in, it probably some form of a split, or whoever's closest. It's really, Chelsea corners are a mess. But I think at 7,300, the deal is just a little bit too good for a guy of Hakeem Ziyech's talent. Loves to shoot, will cross the ball, get you some fouls drawn. Who got tough luck versus West Brom, got subbed early after the red card. But I do think that Ziyech rebounds here, has a really good game versus the Crystal Palace team that's going to bunker. It's going to give Chelsea a ton of opportunities for offense, and Ziyech is the type of guy that will unlock those opportunities. Trent Alexander-Arnold will likely be the most popular player on the slate, takes most of Liverpool's corners, free kicks, the best open play value Liverpool has. He will definitely be wanting to make amends for what was a terrible weekend versus Madrid. Look, if for some reason he's not in, you see Nico Williams. That's an easy plug and play. Nico Williams plays incredibly similar to Trent Alexander-Arnold. I do think that Klopp, risks a lot if they bench Trent Alexander-Arnold here, just from a confidence standpoint. So look for him to try Alexander-Arnold out, give him freedom to just bomb forward and, do what Alexander-Arnold does best, which is create chances, cross the ball, and be the offensive outlet Liverpool needs. Reece James, if in, lock and load. The hard part is in the second game. The safest way to approach the Chelsea wingbacks is to plug Ben Chilwell, who's the most expensive. And if he's not in, then you go to Reece James. And if he's not in, you get Marcus Alonso. Because the problem is the replacement for Reece James on the right is Callum Hudson-Odoi, who's a forward-eligible player. So it doesn't help you in your defensive slot. But let me just talk about Reece James. I'm taking a majority of Chelsea's corners. Like Alexander-Arnold, what he does best is cross the ball and become an offensive outlet out on the wing. So I think, in an ideal world, you get Alexander-Arnold, Reece James. You probably get close to plugging in 20 points and you rock and roll there. I do think that Marcus Alonso is likely to start for Ben Chilwell, considering Ben Chilwell started versus Porto. Or not versus Porto. Yeah, versus Porto. And Alonso's been starting more regularly in the EPL since Tuchel's been taking over. He has taken the occasional corner, but Marcus Alonso is actually just a really good offensive fullback. Doesn't cross nearly as much as Alexander or Reece James, but he's actually a goal threat. Very, very tall guy, set piece threat, can take a free kick or two and does it really well. Just always seems to show up with goals. So Marcus Alonso, 6,400. I think there's a really good chance he starts. Like him a lot. Andy Robertson, the other Liverpool set taker, 6,000. I can't blame you whatsoever for just plugging in Trent Alexander-Arnold, Andrew Robertson, and going. Really good chance that you're going to get 20 points between those two. The other thought, depending on what you do with forward, is playing three defenders. So doing Alexander-Arnold, Robertson, and Reece James. And then if Reece James isn't in, you plug in Marcus Alonso. That becomes your utility spot. All right, two value plays, and let's get out here. James Milner, really good chance that he starts for Liverpool. He started the last EPL game, was awesome. Not like awesome in terms of he's got 15 DK. He doesn't really take corners when Alexander-Arnold and Robertson are on. But at 3,700, Milner, is kind of one of the more dependable Liverpool players. I think that Klopp needs, his type of intensity in the midfield, and at sub 4K gives you cheap exposure to Liverpool. And finally, depending on lineups, there's a chance that Jack Grealish is back. I doubt Grealish is fit for 90. But Morgan Sanson, Villa's big signing from Marseille. He's down to 3,300. There's a decent chance if you don't see Grealish or El Ghazi that Morgan Sanson will take some corners at 3,300. Even if he doesn't, Morgan Sanson is just a dang good footballer at 3,300. He has a really good chance to get you 5 or 6 DK. Becomes that third eligible team if you don't use it at goalkeeper and gets you started and on your way. Guys, that will do it. I hope the picks help. Hope you enjoyed the soccer analysis, and do me a favor. On Saturday, when you wake up, just be thankful. Even though we don't have a 3-game slate, we still have 2 games. Be an awesome Saturday. Get your coffee, watch some football, enjoy some DFS. Nothing like it. It's a great way to kick off your weekend. With that, I will say, this is Keith. Go by GatorGuy231. Find me at the FSI DFS YouTube channel. You can find me on my Twitter handle at GatorGuy231. Reach out if I can ever be of assistance. Would love to talk and continue to grow the awesome DFS soccer community. And with that, see you.